Hi there guys, Stean PP Reviews back again with another part of the films that remind me of my childhood. So let's just dive straight in because there's quite a few more to go. So let's just dive straight in with The Craft. This is another film that reminds me of my sister actually. This is one of them that at this time when this film came out, this is like the height of the goth community. My big sister was one of those folk, especially in my area there wasn't many of them. And this is kind of the film that a lot of people who were goths kind of idolised this film because it was all about being the weirdos, and I had to watch it with her constantly. I made her watch Power Rangers that much that she may not make me watch this, and I still love this film today. And I think they're making a remake of it as well, which my thoughts on it is they shouldn't ever, because it wouldn't make any sense and it wouldn't jump in. Next up is another Christmas film, is Jingle All the Way. Now this shouldn't surprise any of you. I've talked about this film many times on this channel. I love this film. This is a film I used to watch constantly. I used to watch this every weekend actually. Not even if it's Christmas. Just every weekend down at my grand's. But I loved Arnold Schwarzenegger. And I couldn't even say his name back in the day. I just said, I want to watch the film with Turbo Man. Yeah, I want a Turbo Man doll. But yeah, Jingle All the Way. Love this film. And it's a film that just reminds me of being down at my granny and papa's bit every weekend and staying there and watching it constantly. Another Arnold Schwarzenegger film is Twins. Now I couldn't pick. I couldn't pick between the three comedies with either this, Juno, or Kindergarten Cop. I love all three of them. I picked Twins up. I like Twins. Twins kind of reminds me. It's like a comedy of a film that almost made it into this list, but it didn't. With a film called Double Impact, and it's a comedy of it's a Double Impact's a film with Van Damme in it. This is just his comedy version of it. It's a really funny film. It's a good watch. Next up is this is actually the reason I'm doing this. I just watched this. Alison just decided to jump on Netflix and try let's do a free trial on Netflix. And I jumped on it, took a password and that, went on my PlayStation and ended up picking out The Warriors. Yeah, I own it on DVD, I still watch it on Netflix, but this is another film that I love. This is a film that reminds me of my dad. This is a film my dad wanted to be growing up. My dad loved this film growing up and he passed that on to me, and I love this film. But I'm going to suggest something to you. If you're going to pick this up, the reason I have this on DVD not Blu-ray is because the Blu-ray is the director's cut, the ultimate director's cut. My dad picked up the ultimate director's cut before I picked this DVD up, and I watched the ultimate director's cut. The good thing about this cut, the special features is good. The film's terrible. It's got comic book themed fucking shit to it. Don't watch it. Watch this version. Get the normal edition of it, because the normal edition is good. Or watch the version on Netflix because it's the same. Next up is Racing Stripes. It's an odd one to be on my list compared to what I'm talking about most of the time, especially after saying Warriors. This is a film that I remember watching years and years ago at a camp. I used to go to Christian camps for years and years. I went to them. This is one of the films I made to watch. Like there was a movie night, and you didn't have to go, but I decided to go anyway. And I ended up loving the film. It was a good watch, and I ended up picking it up on DVD just for that memory. I don't think I've watched. Though this version's only been watched once, and it wasn't even by me. It's by my niece and nephew. They stayed over one night and I put it on for them because I wanted something to watch. Next one is another one from my dad. This is Joe's Apartment. This is another one that he's passed on to us, and he loved this film and made us watch it. And it's all about singing cockroaches in a tower block, and it's just over the top. It's fantastic. If you haven't seen this, it's a must watch. It's actually a film MTV created. It's one of the first films MTV ever made. Fantastic watch. It's a film everybody should see. It's another one that I remember just watching as a kid and loving, and then when I got older and rewatched it, it made more sense to me, and I love it even more now. Now, the next one here is actually a box set, but it's the film I'm talking about. It's Jackass. It was the first film I'm talking about this on. This reminds me of my brother. I remember being ill one day at school. I can't remember what was wrong, but I wasn't feeling too great. The school phoned home, and my big brother was in. He hadn't moved up to Dundee at that point, and they phoned him up, and he came down and picked me up, and we ended up going to my Uncle Jim's video shop, and got two films, and one of them was the Jackass film, the very first Jackass film when it just came out, and we went up the road. He bought a couple of sweeties, only a couple for me, mostly from him because he liked to eat a lot of sweeties. But he bought all this sweeties and took us up the road and kind of we sat and watched this, and the next film's coming up. Some friends have put the other film on, and we watched both of them. And Jackass was the one I remembered and I love more. But the other one was the 40-Year-Old Virgin. This is another one he made me watch, and again, both 15. This one's an 18. This one's a 15. I was maybe in first year, second year, so it wasn't like you've seen the films that was my kid film. This is first year, second year, so I was a lot younger, a lot older. But just that's one of those. It's one of those memories that have never left me, and it's just kind of stuck with me all my life now. Just being home, getting home from school and watching these films. Another one that reminds me of my brother is Masters of the Universe. Now David was a massive He-Man fan. David loved He-Man, so he obviously liked the Masters of the Universe films, and he made me watch this. Growing up, all my life I've watched this, and yeah, I love this film. It's one of those films that it's not bad, it's great. A lot of these films are terrible films, like Masters of the Universe, but they're all great films to me. They're films that remind me of certain members of my family that I had to watch. Next up is another one that reminds me of my brother. This is actually, I remember going, this is the first film I remember seeing at the cinema. This is Flubber. Now, I talked about this in a Robin Williams video done a while back, after he passed away. This is the very first film I remember wholeheartedly going to the pictures and seeing it. I remember I've been to see Goldeneye. I went and seen Goldeneye when it came out, but Goldeneye came out before this. So I seen Goldeneye, then I went with my brother and seen this. All I remember is going to the cinema with my brother and it being Flubber, and that's it. And then getting it a couple of years later on video, and it was a green videotape. That's all I remember. But that's all. That's why it's here. That's why I bought it. That's why I love the film. It's not even a great film. It's one of Ron Williams' least best. One of his worst films he's made, but I love it just for that. Next one is a film that reminds me of my dad and just growing up in general. I had a poster of this film. He had it in his bedroom. He had it in the living room. He's had it all over the place. Basically, it is the Doors. My dad's a massive Doors fan, so it reminds me of the music as well, but also reminds me of the poster. And growing up and getting made watch this film constantly because my dad loves this film. My dad loves Oliver Stone as well. One of his favourite films is Platoon. It's not on this list, but one of his favourite films is Platoon. But the Doors is one of those. It's kind of the image of the. It's still up in my living room at the moment. Actually, the poster's up in the living room. Still has the poster. The poster's probably older than me. I think the poster is older than me. I think he got it Aaron. And this is just one of the films that I love so much. Okay, so we'll stop here. We've got another couple of DVDs to go before moving on to Blu-rays. We'll stop here, we'll have another break, and we'll have another video coming up. So thanks for tuning in. Remember, comment down below. Let me know what your favourite films I've grown up were, and what do you think of these films that I've picked. Thanks for tuning in, and I'll see you later. Bye.